Hello and welcome to this presentation where I will quickly go through the 10 things we added in CyPerf 1.0. CyPerf 1.0 is one of our major releases where we added 1000 plus unique exploits and malware. We also increased our number of signatures by 4500 by adding SQL injection signatures and cross-site scripting signatures using playlists, and these are all available as pre-canned attacks. We expose playlists to the users so that they can add their own exploits, own signatures in the attack profile and understand a device and a test's allow block abilities. We created the realism for applications to another level where we have added features like dynamic payload, where the contents will be continuously randomized and changed per transaction, just like you see in real life. We also added realistic SaaS apps like Office 365 Suite, where you can now create OneDrive, Excel, or Outlook traffic using CyPerf. CyPerf now runs both the controllers and the agents can be run on Azure, Google Cloud, AWS. We also created containerized version of CyPerf, so you will be able to deploy CyPerf agents as pods using YAML files. We added some other small features like you can now add V4, V6 IPs, you can add multiple device under tests, multiple IP addresses at the server side, cookie support for HTTP and stuff like that. We also developed a very strong pipeline of apps that would include Zira, Zoom, SFDC, Facebook, and other related apps and protocols. Some of them are converted from our existing products, and some of them very unique to CyPerf. CyPerf is also an continues to be a strong automation friendly product. We have REST API for every action that you see in UI. We have added Python wrappers, Terraform, and Ansible scripts to deploy a large number of agents and containers. Now, apart from that, we have also added multiple users, authentication management, session management in CyPerf. Let's quickly go through some of these features in the UI itself. This is the CyPerf UI. I would generally start with the browse configs, where we have added a host of pre-canned examples and segregated into different categories. Like if you want to test performance of various types of networks and devices with throughput, CPS, you can start with our performance configs. If you want to test out security without the trouble of creating the attacks all by yourself, there is a host of different types of pre-canned examples, ranging from browsers to CSRFs, LFI attacks, encrypted attacks that you can use ready-made. Similarly, cloud configs, if you are testing multi-cloud containers, testing different instances and their performances, we have created several pre-canned examples of popular instances of Azure, AWS, Google, which you can try and even go for more complex configs. We also have certain features that you can see and learn from the canned examples, like SQL injection through using playlists, how we can use brute force using playlists, how we can add multiple device under test, multiple servers, all pre-canned examples. Very good place to start. In this particular session, I will start with a kind of a complex example that highlights all these new features. So you can see I can now add multiple device under tests. I can provide IP addresses to them. I can provide host names to them. I can also add multiple destination network segments. I can mix and match between on-prem and cloud. I can specify their IP addresses and their counts. I can also set anything to automatic. You can do all this using this plus add button, and you can see you can add network elements, application profile, attack profile, and device under test. So those are the new features that we have added. In traffic profile, you can see I have already added two applications, the HTTP app. If I expand the HTTP app, you can see I can add things like macros, where I can say $random 5 comma 10, so that creates a randomized number between 5 and 10 characters. I can add dynamic payloads and dynamic responses. Office 365 or any of our cloud apps is as realistic as it can get. You can see every server connection is made to a very unique server, just like how it happens in real life. And you can even map these individual servers in the network mapping to any particular network segment, so that if the server infrastructure itself is distributed, you can do this server to network segment mapping to replicate that kind of distributed nature. In objective and timeline in attack profile, we have added another new objective called connections per second. So if you want to test what's the max CPS for small packets, or some of those tests can be done readily. We already had throughput and simulated users before. Now, going to the attack profile, we have added now almost 1,000 different strike lists. So you can see the strike list covers various types of attacks and grouping them into meaningful list. And you can expand on any of those to understand what exactly this particular list contains. And you can see I have already added a few lists. So the encrypted attacks will be collection of all the different encrypted attacks. Vector is where we can add user specified patterns. So you can specify a playlist file, which will be a collection of rows, and you can either use the CSVs that we have given more than 5,000 plus patterns, or add your own CSVs in this list and create your own attack patterns. Obviously, we will have other videos. You can see them in the YouTube tutorial, how to add playlists, dynamic payloads, and other features in more details. Similarly, you can use the pre-canned attacks, right? Pre-canned playlist, so you can search for vectors and you will see some of those vectors already having those pre-canned attacks. In objective and timeline, CyPerf has added a new feature in attack profile called iteration count, where you can specify the number of iterations you want to run, either one or unlimited. And in the network mapping, the same kind of application to attack or application to server mapping can be done in CyPerf. This apart, if you go to our GitHub location, I've given the link here in this video, you will be able to see deployment examples for AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and Kubernetes. And each deployment provides you examples, complete readmes, and details about it. So in case you want to deploy them, all the details that you need are available in all these templates in our GitHub location. So all the multi-cloud information. This part we have also added user management, so you can go to administration and you can do agent management, where you can see what kind of agents are there, what interfaces that are there. You can reboot individual agents by selecting them, delete some of the agents, clear their own ownerships. You can also see the REST API guide. You can go into more details of access control, where you can see what kind of users are there, control their authentications, group them, see individual users. So all those information and control can be done through CyPerf management. So this is some of the key features of CyPerf in a nutshell. Thanks a lot for listening.